Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bharti, moderator for the conference call. On behalf of Essential Technologies, we welcome to the Q4 FY21 earnings conference call of PTC India Financial Services Limited. As a reminder, all participants will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Nikunj Seth of Essential Technologies. Thank you, and over to you, sir. Nikunj, sir? Nikunj, sir, please go ahead, sir.
मेरे को भी मेल करो ना चाहे प्रेजेंटेशन मैं करो एकदम ताजा काम
Hi, Bharti. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Essential Technologies, I welcome you all to the Q4 FY21 and year-ended earnings conference call of PTC India Financial Services Limited. We have with us Dr. Pawan Singh, MD and CEO, PTC India Financial Services. I now request Dr. Pawan Singh to start with the opening remarks.
So, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for having joined our call today. In fact, I hope each one of you who have joined, your families have been safe and you have been in good health. And wherever, somebody has been affected, I hope the people have come out. In my own company, this time in the first phase of COVID, only hardly, very solitary case or people were affected. But in the phase 2 of the pandemic, a large number of my officers were impacted by pandemic. And of course, very few of them had to be hospitalized. And fortunately, everybody has almost come out of the situation. Of course, trauma is there in some cases, but everybody, that way, what situation was prevailing in Delhi, touch wood, compared to what it was, people have been able to, things have been good. So, by and large, for PFS from health angle, and I expect that things would be much better because Bombay, I believe, was much better managed the way Delhi, this crisis could go beyond proportion. As far as PFS is concerned, in this backdrop, we are presenting this, in that scenario, we are presenting our Q4 results. And let me, first of all, tell you as to, for the entire year, we were able to do a sanction of 4,100 crores against actual sanction of 3,000 crores in the corresponding year. So despite COVID, our sanctions have substantially, almost 30% increase in the sanction took place. Disbursement, we were able to do as much as a little better than what we did last year. It was close to 2,590, and this time we did close to about 2,700 crore disbursement. So there was some improvement in disbursement. This was notwithstanding the fact that first quarter we hardly did any disbursement, and second quarter also we were very, very cautious on making disbursement. Despite that, we have been able to do a very large quantity of sanction and disbursement. So on the business side, we are continuing to be optimistic and bullish. And the first quarter, which is going now, the growth in business from that angle also is flowing into the next quarter. Also, when I talk about business, what is very important for each one of us to know that we have tried to, we are trying to present ourselves as a green, sustainable infrastructure finance company, which is, but another part of this green, sustainable infrastructure finance company, what we call our motto is additionality in sustainability. So not only we are doing green sustainable projects, but we are bringing additionality. So that may quiz you a little bit as to what I am talking about in the additionality factor. What we are now focusing with, substantially is things like waste management, urban sanitation, sewage treatment plants, water infrastructure, electrical mobility, decentralized power generation, renewable, and that is an area. And of course, the third party PPA or what we call group captive, renewable energy, where many of the conventional lenders are not very bullish, and that is a space which we are trying to capture. Of course, this is business going forward, and fortunately what has happened is that in this space, a lot of regulatory clarity is now available than what it was before, and very, very robust PPP models are being thrown open in the areas of urban sanitation, water, clean water management, e-mobility, e-vehicle manufacturing. So that has given a good opportunity, and we have started in very, very you can say that in a very substantial way that we have started in these areas. Of course, renewable continues to be still continues to be a very, very significant portion of our loan book, and in the additional business also renewable finds its own importance the way it has found in past. But also, the new areas which I have mentioned fall into our priority. And road HAM projects, again, we put it in the same category, almost similar category. The size, of course, is growing up. Today it doesn't constitute that portion, large portion, but whatever, in fact, sanction or distribution we did, road constituted almost 10% of the sanction and distribution. And even the e-mobility constituted almost 10% of the sanction which we did, in the going by financial year. So business has been, despite COVID and hiccups in the first two quarters, we have been able to make up on the business. And as I said, we are, bullish. The sanction and disbursements, we'll continue to do, and this year we'll get the advantage of what we missed in the first two quarters. Other than in third and fourth quarter, what we did, improvement over that in the first and second quarter, we would try to, also do it the way which we had done the first and second quarter. And so far, in this quarter itself, so far, we've already done sanction close to about 1,400 crores, and one more board meeting we are planning by third week of this month, where we would try to do more sanctions. So we are fairly upbeat about the business growth. Of course, coming to the performance of the company, in fact, the details will be given by our colleagues, Mr. Naveen Kumar, who would also give you a business overview, risk and challenges, constraints, and so on. And of course, followed by Mr. Sanjay Rastogi, who would give you in-depth financial numbers. But just to give you an overall bird's eye view of the financial numbers, the very important thing here is that NII, which is I would say that heart of any banking or financial institution. So NII improved from the previous quarter. It improved where it was 91.8 crores, improved to 96.48 crores. And compared to the first quarter, the comparative quarter of the previous year, it improved substantially.
तुम्ही ज्या व्यक्तीशी बोलत आहात त्याने तुमच्या कॉलला होल्डवर ठेवला आहे.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so if I compare it with the previous quarter, compare it with the previous quarter, then it has gone up from 77 crores to 96.48 crores. And, if I compare it with the corresponding quarter of last year, then it has gone up from 91.87 crore to 96.48 crores. So, and on the yield, we have the yield has improved from, yield is was 11.13, and the cost of fund was for the year was 8.42, and spread has been for the quarter close to 3%, and net interest margin has been close to 4.24%. Gross NPA stands at 7.64 compared to 8.44 in the previous quarter, and net NPA comes down from 4.46 to 3.04. So this is our performance bird's eye view, and what is very important here is that our provision coverage ratio has gone up to 62%. Also very important to know is that the NPAs, net NPAs which we have today, today we stand at net NPA of 313 crores, and out of this 313 crore, the three large account which we have in the net NPA, which is NRSS, which is roughly about 217 crores gross NPA and roughly about 158 net NPA. And another one is your Meenakshi, which is net NPA close to, gross NPA is 150 and net NPA is close to about 90 crores. So 158 plus 248 crores is out of this 313 crores is, we have already reached the resolution process, and hopefully, in case of analysis, we have gone through a bidding route and we have got 3 bids, and hopefully within a week the committee will finalize the bid and we will put up the proposal in the next board meeting for the approval. As far as the other project which I said, Meenakshi, so there also through NCLT route, the resolution offer has come, and as soon as because NCLT was closed, and in the month of this month only the NCLT has to start its working, so this resolution plan will be filed before the NCLT for the resolution. And so this is of course gross NPA and net NPA there is 88 crore, and the other items which of course in detail will be taken by my colleague in his detailed presentation against what are the against the NPA, what is the current outstanding. But by maybe now we are almost towards the end of the provisioning cycle, and one asset, because this year we made instead of we would have normally, because NII close to about 100 crores, we would have made a very good profit, except that in one case we did provisioning close to roughly about 87 or 88 crores, and this is where this is NSL Nagapatnam, but we have a resolution offer of 90 crores which is under consideration of board, and till board takes a final decision on that, as a matter of abundant good corporate governance and reporting, we have done it as we showed it. We made the provision in this quarter, and because of that, our the what had to come as a profit, we have been net 53 crore loss. If you would have not provided for this amount, then we would have, to that extent, we would have made profit in our books. Also, there was this old issue of land which PTC as a group had invested, and we, as a part of PTC group, also had decided that we'll set up a separate office, and that land, a part of recovery has happened, and part of recovery is with the state government, where it will be time taking. So both we have decided to make provision for that additional 10 crores. So this would also, normal situation would have added to our profitability. So all our operating parameters are concerned, the NIMs, the spreads, gross, net NPA, the NII figure, everywhere, cost of funds, everywhere we have been able to show improvement, distinct improvement. And not only we have shown improvement, but the trend will be, so two things I would, the two takeaways from my initial remarks should be that we are going to grow substantially, and the growth, as I said, 2 quarters last year had not happened, and that will be compensated also in the current year. And we would, continue to focus on new areas in additionality and additionality in sustainability, where opportunities are there, apart from our traditional renewable and road HAM projects and other infrastructure projects. Of course, on the liquidity front, which continued to be a challenge last year, our liquidity, at least now, is very comfortable, and we always had overbought position, except last about 18 months, which went by, where post-IL&FS crisis, generally NBFCs were facing problem, and we also had to, go through that challenge. But today, we have ample liquidity, close to 1,800 crore. Undrawn limit is available with us. So that gives us, liquidity has two aspects. One is, of course, the liquidity itself, which gives us the comfort. And our long-term to short-term ratio is also very good. It is over 91% long-term. So that gives us an opportunity to also, because when you are overbought, it gives you opportunity to reduce your cost of capital. So going forward, we'll be able to further we have reduced our cost of capital substantially. We will be able to reduce our cost of capital even more. Also, it's very important that as I said, net NPA have come to 313 crores, and most of it is, in fact, as I said, most of it is, the resolution plan is at a very advanced stage. I would say a very, very significant portion of this amount is at a very, very advanced stage. And in all these cases, we are, going to get a value close to the book value of the asset. So that is why I said probably we have reached the end of the provision cycle, because all these cases of our stress assets were legacy assets, primarily arising of thermal assets and solitary 1 or 2 hydro assets. So from that angle, probably that pain, which had been hurting us for so many years, and in fact, the last pain of it is also reflected in our this quarter's result. But then there is silver lining there, because I have already said that 90 crore offer is available with us. So that offer, subject to certain meeting, certain conditions, we would, the board will take, it will be put up to board for approval. So that means that not only the provisions would be substantially reduced, or I would even take the liberty of saying very, very insignificant kind of provisions should happen in future. But if, we are able to sail it through with, this one or two riders which are there, and which we are able to sail it through our board, so in next few months, then probably, this 90 crore also will be seeing the light of day, and would, see, some kind of a right back possibility also happening. So with lot of optimism at this time, because what I have always been saying that we are reaching towards the end of the tunnel, but now I can safely say that, we have come out of the tunnel. So that would be my punchline. And once you have come out of the tunnel and you are on the highway, then you have then your speed, acceleration, and nature of business is totally different from what you have done in past. So thank you so much, and I leave it to my colleagues now. First to Mr. Naveen ji, and then of course the detailed numbers by Sanjay, and of course Sanjay will also give you analysis of the numbers, some qualitative analysis to back that numbers. How these numbers not only look in figures, but also how they qualitatively reflect. So, and then of course we'll be very happy to take any question of yours. Thank you so much. Over to Naveen ji.
Thank you, Pawan Singh ji. Good evening, friends. It's always a privilege to interact with you all. And just to explain a few things from my side, despite a turbulent year being faced by the economy, as is known to everyone, PFS could still sanction debt aggregating to rupees about 4,300 crores in the financial year 2020-21. If we see, initially the sanction was low in first half of the financial year 21 due to the impact of the COVID-19, because of which PFS could sanction around rupees 350 crores during this period. As we shared in the past also, there were different kind of problems being faced. Not many projects were coming up. There was delay in getting clearances, linkages, etc. So the sum total of all these things, it resulted in getting very few projects, and the process of sanction of loan getting slowed down with all the financial institutions, NBFCs, etc. And then, however, PFS picked up its operation in second half of financial year 21 and could sanction additional amount of about more than 4,000 crores in second half of financial year 21. And this included a sanction of around rupees 2,300 crores alone in the quarter 4 of the financial year. Friends, during the year, PFS forayed into new sectors like e-mobility space, wherein PFS sanctioned around rupees 400 crore to 3 projects. And additionally, PFS also sanctioned around rupees 86 crores to one of the sewage treatment plants in Patna under Namami Gange program, for which loan agreement has already been signed. As you may kindly recollect, a similar project was earlier sanctioned in the Prayagraj area under the Namami Gange program. So we are continuing with our endeavors in this area also. PFS is also endeavoring to foray into newer segments like railway wagon, desalination plants, charging infrastructure for e-vehicles, for which various opportunities are being explored. And during the last year also, we had worked very hard to locate the opportunities. So during financial year 21, PFS disbursed about 2,650 crore, which includes disbursement of rupees 1,331 crore alone in the quarter 4. Due to slow economic activity during the first half of the financial year 21, where we could disburse about 435 crores in the first half, and which picked up later on, and during the second half, the disbursal achieved was more than 2,200 crores. And this indicates that as soon as the situation started improving and some improvement was noticed, immediately we focused our energies in this area. We came into action and we grabbed the available opportunities and enhanced our sanction and disbursement in a significant manner. Now, just to share with you or to summarize the portfolio summary as on 31st March 2021, the total sanctions, they are of the order of 15,380 crores, and disbursal is of the order of 12,470 crores. Total outstanding is about 10,752 crores. This outstanding constitutes this generation domain as about 52%, transmission segment about 6%, road around 8%, and port is around 1.4%. Then water infra is around 0.3%, electrical mobility about 2.2%, and then corporate debt is of the order of about 32%, which includes the state sector discoms, then private sector power projects, and some non-energy value projects also. And this trend, PFS does not foresee any significant concern in case of borrowers where projects have been commissioned and completed. Projects which are under construction, like road and transmission projects, concerned government authorities have given extension for completion of projects in many cases. Many projects got completed even during COVID-19 period. And though there are challenges with respect to the payment cycle with few discoms like Telangana and AP discom to our borrowers, but in almost all the cases, the promoters are bringing sufficient cash to address cash flow mismatch. AP Discom has released certain payments during fourth quarter of this financial year 2021. And what I understand, the next hearing in AP High Court is scheduled on 28 June 2021, and all the developers are expecting favorable decision in this regard. Regarding our monitoring endeavors, we keep a close eye on the project performance with respect to PLF, billing, payment cycle, monitoring of TRA accounts, financial analysis. We undertake site visits. Our lenders, independent engineers, they also undertake the site visits. We review their performance. They submit the reports. We analyze such reports critically. And same is true for our lender financial advisor also, which helps to ensure timely servicing of debt and identifying the stress at an early stage. And our monitoring team is all set to look into such kind of issues. In case of any abnormality observed, we take all the necessary steps with borrowers to keep the things in shape. Our early warning signal framework has been well established over the years, which is linked with internal credit grading mechanism. This helps the company in identifying the stress in loan accounts at early stage itself, and because of that, we are able to identify loan accounts having problems in the initial stage, and many projects have been prevented from slippage into NPA accounts by taking early steps, corrective measures such as reduction in O&M cost even up to 40 to 50%, improvement in plant load factors, closure of some loan accounts by ensuring early repayments. Now, with rigorous monitoring, EWS loan accounts have significantly reduced to only about 6 to 7 accounts, and we see further drop of another 2 accounts in this first quarter of this financial year 22 itself. Then this risk grading model is all there in SAP, where on very set date, nodal officer from monitoring initiates the workflow which is approved by the monitoring head. Then this is reviewed by the risk team nodal officer, and post all the checks and satisfaction, it is approved by the risk head. So this double checking is there in this regard. Risk grading is an annual process, and each account is assessed once in a year. But for EWS accounts, where grading is OR7 or above, this process is run by the monitoring team every quarter. Now, just to share with you our next year's plan, I mean for the year 2021-22, we propose to fund this renewable energy projects, as MD and CEO has also explained to you, then transmission, road, then other areas, then of course DISCOMs, then corporate loans in the power, corporate loans in the infra and other. This roughly we have budgeted the total sanction and disbursement in this area, just to share with you that regarding the approximate percentages. Of course, it is a dynamic situation, and we have to readjust our operations during the course of the year. So this renewable will maybe around about 30-32% part of the total disbursement, and transmission could be around 7 to 10%, road also 9 to 10%, and DISCOMs could be in the corporate loans in the DISCOM segment. It could be around 20%, and in the power segment, corporate loans could be 5 to 6%, and the corporate loans in infra and other sectors 17%. So the total corporate loan, they'll add up to around 40 to 42%. So sanction budget may be around 7,000 crores or so, and disbursement could be more than 5,000 crores. So with these words, I would like to stop here. Thank you so much for giving me a patient hearing.
So, thank you, Naveen-ji. Very, very crisp and very objectively presented. Now I'll request Sanjay to take you through detailed numbers, and then we'll have the Q&A.
Yeah, welcome to all participants. I'm just giving you the financials numbers to you. For first, I'm giving the comparison of the quarter 21, the last quarter of the financial year 21 versus the last quarter of the financial year 20. The net interest income for the Q4 21 has increased to rupees 96.48 crore as compared to 91.87 crore. Profit before tax and the profit after tax for Q1, which stood at loss of 30.54 crore and net loss of 53.66 crore. During the Q4, PFS has completely provided of the one of the loan account, that is because of the NSL Nagapatnam, and in Q4 we made a provision of 87.5 crore. The loan sanction during the quarter stood at 23.29 crore, an increase of 164%, and the loan disbursement increased by 160% to 1 crore as compared to the previous corresponding quarter. The yield on earning asset had stood at 10.98% as compared to 11.66%. Debt equity ratio has to improve to 4.37% as compared to 4.43%. The adjusted net interest income margin improved to 4.24% as compared to 3.38%, and the adjusted spread for Q4 21 stood at 2.98% as against 2.68% in Q4. With respect to the Q4 versus Q3 of the current financial year, the net interest income has improved again to 96%, again 96.48 crore as compared to 77.25 crores, and the net interest income as a percentage of total income for Q4 21 improved to 30.51% as compared to 28.7%. Yield on the earning assets stood at 10.98% as compared to 11.25%. This is because of there is a change in the PFS benchmark rate by 25 basis during this quarter. The net interest margin earning portfolio increased to 4.24% as compared to 3.53%. Adjusted spread for Q4 stood at 2.98% against 2.86%. And some of the financial highlight as on 31st of March 2020. The total loan book as at 31st March comprises of 11,094 crore. Consists of the loan outstanding of 10,751 crore and the non-fund based commitment aggregating to 343 odd crores. The gross non-performing assets stood at 7.64% and net non-performing asset net NPA at 3.04%. And the capital adequacy ratio as on 31st March 2021 stood at 23.95%, which comprises of Tier 1 capital of 23.55 and Tier 2 capital of 0.4, and the debt equity ratio, which is very comfortable at this point of time, is 4.37%. During this quarter, we have made two exceptional expenses. One is the additional provision on one of the loan accounts, where the promoter is offering the OTS settlement of 90 crore, and another is the land advance, which we have provided for around 10.40 crore. And this is all about from our side.
Yeah, so thank you, Sanjay. Now we can invite questions and clarify any doubts if are there.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. First question comes from Sameer Dalal from Natwarlal and Sons Stockbrokers Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. So I had actually first a point to make. The presentation that you've uploaded on your website is not uploaded properly. If you could have that redone, please. Now, coming to the two questions that I have. The first question is in regards to the NPAs. You said that you all are at advanced stages of NCLT in a lot of these cases. What kind of recovery, if any, are we recovering on an actual basis versus the provisions that have been made, or it will just be that now no more provisions will be required, but we will not have any recoveries from any of these assets? Second, the total stage 3 is quite large at about 1,300 crores. If you can just throw some more light on what exactly, is happening with the stage 3 asset.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And of course, I have asked my colleague to upload it again. I hope it meets your requirement. If it doesn't, please let me know so that we'll do the corrective action. As far as the NPA accounts are concerned, so as we said that net NPA has come down to 3.04%, and which is amount-wise, Sanjay, it will be net NPA is 313 crores. Now, out of this 313 crores, what we have, the largest chunk is NRSS transmission, which is roughly about 159 crores. So this is more than 50% of my net NPA. Now here, as I said, that we have received 3 bits, which are substantially closer to the amount which has been given. Right? What has been. So we are trying to improve upon that, and we are hopeful of getting 80% plus of the value of net NPA.
And how much has been for that particular asset?
Sorry? How much has been provided for? Yeah, provision we have made to close to about 48.14 crores.
So you will actually see a net recovery. That's what my question was, yes?
Yeah. So my 158 is my net NPA, which is lying in my book. And I said that almost, because I cannot, because we are still at the stage of negotiation, final stage with the bidders, which we should complete in the next 3-4 days. But I feel that closer to 80% is practically possible.
80% of the net NPA, not of the gross value?
No, of the net NPA.
Okay, so you will still have to make further provisions.
Yeah, so 80% will be there, or it could be better. That we are trying to work on that. So this is the only large amount which is left with us, and where some between anything from 80% plus recovery. 80% is almost certain, and 80% plus kind of a recovery would happen. Then there is this case of Meenakshi, 66.25 is the net NPA. The loan amount was 150 crores. 69 crore have been provided, and 15 crore we have transferred to impairment reserve. And out of this net NPA, the resolution plan what we have got is matching the value of net NPA. So we are there. We don't expect any provision to make, and these two constitute almost close to 70% of my net NPA figure. Balance would be small amounts. KSK Mineral 24 crore, and then we have Athena Chhattisgarh, where we have net amount against 189 crore loan. We have provided 170 crores, and only roughly 15 crore is left. So this plus Athena, that is roughly 40 crore is what is left. So since the amount is of negligible value of what is what is net NPA amount. And since these assets are there already, so at various stages of resolution, so we are hopeful of getting whatever is there. Apart from that, which was one amount NPA, which was there, NSL Nagapattinam, 125 crore, where we have made close to about 88 crore provision, and since we have already made the provision 100% now. So against 125, I had told already we have got an offer of 90 crore, subject to 1 or 2 conditions being met. This will be put to our board for approval. So here we are expecting some write back to happen.
So net, if I were to ask, what kind of credit costs could be expected financial year 22?
So, we have told you the numbers which we have. So, like, as I said that in case of NRSS, we are getting close to, so probably we can say safely that, so on my total expense, what I have, you can say that a credit cost, how much? 30 crores will be how much? 30 crores will be how much of my total expense?
It's a 5%.
No, 35%.
Interest expense.
Your 30 crores is percentage of total expense. Total expenses are roughly how much? 11. 0.3. So my credit cost will be close to 0.3%.
0.3. And this doesn't account for the recovery, right, of the 90 crores you talked about?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll come back in queue for more idea. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
sir.
hope presentation is loaded now and it's to your satisfaction.
So can we go ahead with the next question?
Yeah, please.
Yes. So next question comes from Nujalla Kumar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Yeah, my question is regarding the net profit. Can we expect the profits will grow in the coming financial year? That is one my question. And second question is what is the net interest margin right now our company is reporting, and what is the future net interest margin can we expect? Yeah.
So, as COP clearly said, that on the running loan book, we have a net interest margin of 3.47 for the year, and for the quarter, the net interest margin is 4.24%.
Okay.
So this net interest margin is we are hopeful of maintaining for two reasons. One is that the loan book which we are going to grow, number one. Number two, the type of loan book which we are growing, we are entering into new areas. Also, we are trying to do the loans which are high yielding. And also, as I said that, the cost of borrowing has come down substantially and it is on a downward movement. And since we are overbought on the liquidity front, so we hope to reduce our interest rate further. So in the quarter 4 of 2020, my interest rate was close to 9%, which has come down to 8% in quarter 4 of 2021. So almost close to 100 bips reduction which has happened, which is a very big reduction. So we expect further reduction also in the spread as we are overbought, and we are trying to, we have been refinancing our higher cost of borrowing with lower cost of borrowing. And as I said, our long-term to short-term ratio is 92 to 8%. So there is a cushion of shifting to short-term more as the liquidity improves. And we move to short-term, the cost of borrowing comes down. So we are confident of maintaining our NIMs and spreads. Since NIM is also a factor of, because when you grow your loan book, so you dip into your equity. So best comparison is spread rather than NIM. because that is my actual presentation of my efficiency. So spread definitely, which is improved from 2.61 to 2.71. This is an area where we would, you will find a distinct improvement going forward.
Okay. Sir, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we expect the, how we used to report in the year 2016 or 2017? So those financial year kind of financial performance can we expect in the coming years, sir?
Yes,
Like almost 400 crores of net profit, around 370 to 400 crores of net profit used to be reporting. That is what I remember in the years of 2016 or 17. Can we expect a similar kind of performance from the company in the coming years to come?
In those years, some of the years we had equity and we sold our equity invested. So profitability jumped up to what it was. So now whatever profitability is coming, it's primarily out of our business operation. So as I said, our NII is close to about 100 crores. What has been a dampener for us in last 2 years is the very high provisioning cost. And I said that, my credit cost has been ranging to almost 1.5% to 2%, which will come down to anything close to 0.30 range, around that. So if I load my, borrowing cost with the credit cost, and if I maintain the NII of close to 100 crores, so we can expect a very good gross margin. I will not say that it will be the numbers which you have, but then I have already given you the numbers that what you are likely to get in the future years, which has to be, with the credit cost coming down, with spreads going up, the profitability should look much cleaner than what it has looked last 2 years.
Okay.
And
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. And participants are kindly requested to restrict with 2 questions in the initial round and may join back the queue for further questions. Next question comes from Rajendra Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Rajiv. Please go ahead.
Any development on the divestment of PTC India stake? Any due diligence has been taken? We are not hearing since from the long. What is the status, sir?
So,
any update on this, sir?
I can only say some due diligence has been carried out, because some due diligence has been carried at our end also. So
due diligence has been carried out.
Some due diligence has been carried out, but what is the final outcome, that it will be better if you ask PTC.
That is right, but due diligence is over from our end, sir.
See, whatever is asked in due diligence from us, there are due diligence, we have some role to play. What has been asked for us, we have provided.
That has been provided. So our book has become clean now.
Yes, as I said, that our book has definitely become much cleaner.
Much cleaner. It seems that, because as you have said that the net interest margin and other will remain for in the next year, it seems to be that our books are already clean now.
Yeah, books are clean, definitely very clean. And I have told that the credit cost is going to come down substantially. I have also given you an indicative, back of envelope number also, as to what my credit cost will look in the future.
Sir, only if you can give the update when it was due diligence is completed.
Sir, it is like this, Ajivji, that due diligence is completed by PTC. Certain portion of due diligence we have happens at our end. To that extent, we have cooperated and given whatever was required by PTC. Now it is for the PTC to complete the entire exercise, because it will not stop at our level. There are other things which they have to do, or maybe they require something more, we don't know. So ultimately, final decision they have to take. So, they have to, because my telling at this stage will be conjectural. It would be best.
It is right, sir. I understand, sir, but when due diligence from the PTC side was completed, sir? PTC India.
That again PTC will answer. You will not be able to answer.
No, as you know that they have done the due diligence when it was completed, sir. That is the only thing I am asking you.
Sanjay, you would like
it is completed before 3 months, 6 months?
It's more than 9 months back.
Huh?
It was completed more than 6 months.
Ajay, your voice is breaking, sir.
Due diligence completion is not so clear, but we have provided our information long back. Final status is doesn't known to us. You can speak to.
Best Rajivji, you will get now the earning call is there for PTC. Very soon you will get.
Yeah, that I will ask over there. But in our particularly, they had taken a due diligence nearly 6 months back or 9 months back, sir. That's the only thing I am asking you.
Yeah, my CFO has given you that indication that from our side certain due diligence has been, as far as we are concerned, our portion, whatever was given to us, that has been completed. Now get back.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. So next question comes from Pranesh Parekh from SSPL. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. I had one simple query, which was more or less related to the overall COVID situation. So I just wanted to understand, like, if I want to quantify, then can we quantify the overall provisions or the additional losses that we had to book on account of COVID during this current financial year?
Yeah, Sanjay will answer that.
So there is no additional, because there was no new slippage of account because of the COVID. So there is no such provision we have to make on account of the COVID. Because most of our projects are the project loans. Even for the renewable energy, the government gives them the must-run status. And as per the must-run status, they are injecting the power on the grid. They are getting the payments, except for few discoms where there is a delay. But there is a temporary issues, and most of the borrowers are making the payments on time. Few borrowers avail the moratorium, and after the moratorium, they are making the payments on time.
Okay. That's great. Okay, thank you. So I think then in that case, just one single thing which we can derive is the overall profits or whatever things, margins and everything were impacted this year were not because of any COVID-related additional provision, but it was because the business has slowed down overall because of the COVID situation.
No, let me answer this. Let me answer this. See, overall, we have said that, if you look at our sanction numbers, against last year 3,000 crore, we have done 4,100 crore. So there is almost, a huge, more than 30%, 34, 35% increase in the sanction. So we really can't say that, business has hampered for us. Yes, of course, Director Operation did mention that we were slowed down in the first and second quarter, and because of this number could have been even more impressive than what it is looking like.
Okay, got it.
We lost, first and second quarter because of that. But there has no been dampening of the business. Our PAT for the quarter has come down only because we did, that 80 crore additional provisioning for the one particular loan account. NSL. And for that, we have already told that we have one offer of 90 crores already lying with us. So, which subject to meeting one or two conditions, the board will put up to the board for approval. So, that was the reason why it happened. In fact, if you look at it, it is only a technical provision. Not, really a provision, because when you have a offer against that, effectively the cash is going to come. So that is the only reason that hypothetically the balance sheet is looking, the quarter profit is looking a little dampened. But then I said that we continue to maintain in fact, Director of Operation very clearly mentioned the kind of business growth we are likely to happen. We also said what are the kind of operating parameters on this business growth we are going to maintain, the kind of spreads, the kind of NIMs we are going to maintain. We also mentioned that the provisioning cycle is for us, over. A large part of provisioning has been absorbed in the system last 3 years. So provisioning cycle is also come to an end. So with this, you should see the impact happening from the current year.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Next question comes from Aditya Mundra from My Temple Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Sir, what is our stage 2 amount, sir? What will be our stage 2 amount as on 31st March?
Sanjay will also give you stage 2 and also give you the status of stage 2 and what about stage of resolution it is like. So you will get a very good picture from there.
Yes, sir. And then I'll come back with the other questions after that.
Yes.
The stage 2 account is close to 900 odd crores.
Okay.
And in this 900 odd crores, there are 3 big accounts which I will like to tell you.
Can give the value also.
Yeah. So one account is NER2 transmission line, which has an amount of 242 odd crores. This account is relating to Sterlite Group, and it has been prepaid by the borrower in the month of April.
Okay.
So out of this 912 crores, 242 is already clear.
Okay.
One more account is the Kundli Manesar that close to 194 odd crores. The project
what is the name? I didn't
Kundli Manesar Expressway Limited. There is a toll route Kundli to Manesar. It is operational from last 2 years, and there are because it pertains to the SL group, it has been classified as a stage 2. The annuity has already started coming in, and as on 31st March 2021, there is no overdue in this account. Considering because of our board policy, since it's relatively difficult group, we keep on monitoring this account, and that is the reason it is being put under the stage 2.
Okay.
Another account is the Madhya Bharat Power Corporation. It's a hydro account. Close to the exposure is 160 odd crore.
Okay.
And this account is expected to be commissioned by the June 21. And once this COD achieved, then this account will go out of the stage 2. That is our initial assessment. Once on signing of the PPA, they have the undertaking from the central government. Once the price discovery take place, and then it will be expected to be out from the stage 2 account. So total of these 3 accounts close to 900 crore out of 600 crore out of 900 crore.
Out of 900 crores. Yes.
Yeah. And few
sir, is there any? Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Yeah.
There are few accounts like Sadbhav, Sunil High Tech, and Tulip. All those mostly are the running projects. And
GMR also has been paid.
The GMR with an outstanding of 24 odd crores has been paid by them by this time, as of today. And there is one account, Tulip, because of the promoter has been classified as a stage 2. Like in Sunil High-Tech, because of the promoter, it has been placed as a stage 2. So now the post NCLT order promoter is getting changed. Once the equity share transfer to a new promoter, this account is expected to be out of the stage 2.
Understood. Understood. And sir, is there any account which is under restructuring as on 31st March?
Which
is not part of stage 3 and stage 2?
No, so there is no account under restructuring, which is under stage 2 or stage, which is not part of the stage. But in stage 1 there is no restructuring.
There is no restructuring. Okay. And sir, in this quarter you have sanctioned 2,329 crores. Could you just give a broad breakup of how much would be renewables, how much would be structured finance, how much would be the new infrastructure, the urban infrastructure, e-mobility? Broad percentages right there.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you. So 20% solar.
Okay.
10% wind.
Okay.
So I'm giving you a round of figure, So it will
yes,
be
sir. Yes, sir.
Transmission, another 9.
Okay.
Road, another 9.
Okay.
Electrical mobility, another 9.
Okay.
Water infrastructure, 2%.
Okay.
Port, another 2%.
Okay.
Then then I have given again renewable at corporate debt, another 6%.
Okay.
Then again against road and other infra, including ports, again we have given 13% as a corporate debt.
Okay. 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 This would be about 85% or 85-90%.
Balance we have given to state transmission and state power utilities having A category rating.
Okay. And sir, out of our total portfolio over 11,000 odd crores, how much would be government sector and how much would be private sector? Breakup?
Yeah, so government will be only your state power transmission and distribution company. 2,400 crore is approximate to the government. So 2,400 will be government.
2,400. Okay. Okay. And so one final question, sir. We have seen some bit of increasing in the admin expenses in this year also as well as in this quarter also compared to last quarter as well as the same quarter last year.
Yeah. Actually, as I told earlier, so there is we have paid around 10 crore as fees to the YEDA for transfer of the land. So a provision of that account has been made, and that is part of the other expenses. And that is the reason 10 crore is coming under the other expenses.
Okay. 10 crore for the...
Apart from this, there is a CSR obligation on the company, around 2 odd crores, based on the profit of 2% of the last year profit. So 2 crore has been spent by the company during the last quarter, and that is also becoming part of the other expenses. So 12 crore.
And 10 crore. 10 crore would be over what, sir? I missed it actually.
There is a capital advance in the form of stamp duty paid to YEDA. The provision has been made.
On the expense, I told you that we were contemplating a office PTC and we
Okay.
And acquired a land. So we have paid some stamp duty to YEDA. So now we are not going ahead with the office, but till the amount we have recovered from the YEDA, we have made provision for that. And if amount comes back to us, we'll write it back.
And this was made in FY21 or quarter 4 FY21 basically?
This provision has been made in Q4 only.
Got it. Okay. Understood. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So next question comes from Vijay Sharda from Crescita Investment. Please go ahead. Mr. Vijay Sharda, please go ahead with your question. I repeat, Vijay Sharda from Crescita Investment. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. Congratulations on good set of numbers. So just I wanted to understand how the new book, basically the kind of transformation journey that we are taking from the usual power transmission to generation business to the new businesses. How the overall profile, or basically you can see the basically credit cost and all that. How is it evolving? Because however the exposure is small to all this sector, because if I contribute to 4, 5, 6% each, but how those sectors are behaving in terms of the receivables as well as how the cycle is moving. So what is your experience in that?
See, as far as we are concerned, we have learnt and we have de-learnt actually.
Okay.
Right? So, all these years, by burning our finger also in some places, having some good experience also in many places, some learning, de-learning has happened. We have also learned what not to do and what to do. We also learned keeping our strength and capability what we should do. And we also learned that we cannot be everywhere and we have to be focused. Also, we also learned that when we are focused, the focus has to be not so much that, we lose our business opportunities, especially the new areas which are emerging areas and where there are sunshine areas which are likely to become can I have the background? Can somebody be muted, please? Yeah. So, please, the background can be, please somebody can mute.
So sorry to interrupt, sir. Vijay Sharda, sir, can you please check the background noise from your line? Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So, there are additional new areas. But then they're all related areas. So we are not going into unrelated areas. So e-mobility is part of our, since we have been part of renewable, it is something natural to us because electricity related only. Green infrastructure is what we have done. We have already shifted. We are almost decarbonized balance sheet. As I said, we are now with this NSL also being knocked off from a book. So I think my number should be thermal, which used to be 50% 5 years back. 3 years back, 30% is now 8%. And by end of this quarter, my thermal asset should come down to 5 or 6% of my total book. So we have decarbonized ourselves. So,
and sir, just what is the average size of disbursement? What is happening on this new average size of average ticket size?
So, see, average ticket size again it ranges from 50 crore and it could go up to 200 crores.
Okay. So just last question in terms of this, there was one income tax refund that was to be awarded to us. The order has already come. So have we received that, or we are yet in the process of receiving that?
The refund has been received. So it's that is along with some interest on that payment.
TDS also you take.
Yeah, 5 crore interest we have received it. And that
the
has
major
been
refund that was but the major refund that was to more than 100 plus crore kind of, is that happened? Is that recovered, or it is still in the process?
That is an advance tax, because the borrowers used to make the deduction of 10% as a TDS on our account, and we got that refund. And during this financial year, we taken one step forward. So now instead of that 10%, borrowers need to deduct the TDS at the rate of 1.5%. So that scenario will not arise in coming year, and that will be an added advantage to us as well.
that will improve our, to that extent, our cash flows.
Sure. So if there is no major tax refund now available pending, or it's some big amount is pending?
Yeah, there is some big amount also pending for the financial year 20, which we are expecting in this quarter or maximum by September, August.
That is upward of 100 crore, right?
Close to 100 crore.
Okay. And just the last thing in terms of going forward, the scenario, the way things are shaping up, as Mr. Naveen ji has said, the overall disbursement target that we have for next year is upward of 7,000 crore is what he said. So do we need to then borrow money from the market, or do some bit of this will suffice? Do we need to raise money, or our internal all this tax refund, or maybe some basically the NP recovery and all that will take care of our growth? Because currently we are sitting on 1,000 crore plus cash, plus some lines have been open, as you said, but now we are talking about 7,000 crore of disbursement target. If we achieve 5,000 also, then we are talking about 50% growth. And if you look at our balance sheet, we have a good leverage to be there for us to play out, because we are currently at around 4.4 of debt to equity. So do we need to raise money, or that will suffice even if we grow at 40-50% capital?
See, this what we are saying. See what happens at an average. We'll get about 2,000 crore of prepayment, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Overall additional capital which will be required will be anything from 4,500 to 5,000 crores when we do that disbursement. Right. Now we still have our debt equity ratio. What I'm talking about is
4.3,
very
much lesser. Yeah.
4.3.
Yeah.
Capital adequacy is also 24%.
24%, correct. Yes.
So, sanction was 7,000.
Sanction was 7,000.
So no, actually a little bit of I think disconnect here. Sorry, I was only wondering as to why this number is coming. So just to confirm it, 7,000 is sanction and 5,000 crore is the disbursement.
It will be disbursement. Okay. So 5,000 minus 2,000 will be additional 3,000. Okay. So
3,000. So with this kind of capital adequacy, and this should not be a challenge at all.
Yeah, that will take care of this. Okay, got it, sir. Got it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, and all the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So next question comes from Saurabh Bave, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Saurabh, please. Yeah, you are.
Good evening, sir. I actually joined 5 minutes later, so if there is anything which you have mentioned, apologies for that. So the first thing is, can we have a quarter-wise guidance of the resolutions of stress accounts?
See, as I have told you, my NPA numbers have come down substantially, and today the net NPA amount is close to now roughly about 315 crores. 315. So I said that out of which I said that half of it is only one. That is your NRSS, close to 158 crore. I said we have already got a bid there, and that bid next 2-3 days will be put up for approval to the board. The next board meeting, which should happen by end of this month. And so that you can see, but then this will require regulatory approval also, CRC, because it has to give a stamp on it, because it's a transmission line license, it's a transmission line project. And and we had got 3 bidders here, Tata Power and IndiGrid, as well as Adani Power. And all 3 have given very good rate, as I said, and we are hopeful of getting 80% plus of the book value which is available now. So I said that the resolution from our side should be complete this month, and then regulatory filing and approvals. That of course it is for the regulator to decide, but our own expectation is that it should take roughly about 30 to 45 days from after our filing of the regulation with the approval for the approval with the regulator. So that takes care of my 50%. Meenakshi, as I said, that is roughly about another amount about 60 crores, 68 crores. That also I said that already resolution plan is complete, and there also we'll maybe in end of this month we'll file it with the NCLT, and NCLT will not take as much time. Of course, there is some bunching of cases because of COVID. Some hearings have not happened. So once it's accepted resolution plan by the committee of creditors, so it should get a stamp of NCLT. And there also, we think that from the time as I said, by end of this month we'll be filing. So by the time we file to NCLT, so 30 to 45 days is what would be a reasonable time to expect. So that takes care of 230 crore. Other accounts are teeny mini accounts, 10-20 crores here and there. Athena Chhattisgarh and KSK Mineral. So Athena Chhattisgarh amount is only 15 crore. That also in resolution plan. And and it has gone for liquidation. So we hope to get, because against 190 crore, 15 crore is outstanding. So that much amount at least we think that we should get, little more only we should get. So by that liquidation plan is also under approval, and probably end of this should take 2 quarters more to get resolved, but this is a small amount. What matters is these two main accounts, which 68 crore and that constitute 160 plus 670, roughly about 250. So only after that only 60 crore is left, which is distributed in various accounts, Athena Chhattisgarh and KSK Mineral. Again, it is with Green Tribunal. That also, as I said, should go the way Athena Chhattisgarh is going. That takes care of everything. And as I said, NSL Nagapatnam we have fully provided for, but there is an offer of 90 crore, and subject to meeting 1 or 2 conditions, compliance will put up to board. Though it is not in the stress asset any longer because it has been fully provided for, but recovery we are expecting close to whatever the bid price has been, or the resolution, the one-time settlement offer has been given by the borrower.
Okay. So thank you, sir, for the very detailed explanation. This was very helpful. One last question from my side is, sir, are there adequate infra projects available for our business growth, and how many projects from the upcoming areas like waste management are there under construction, under consideration?
Yeah. So we have Naveen ji and his colleague Sitesh. I would like to give them opportunity to address this point jointly or individually as they feel like. They are connected from their home, so just wait for
Yes, no, not a problem.
We are consistently endeavoring to get more and more projects in different areas. As the main thrust is on renewable area, and apart from that, as I have mentioned, this road, port, electric mobility, water, and mining. So we are sourcing the proposal in these areas, and some projects initially they are in the pipeline. So that pipeline it is taken forward. Some of the projects they get converted into loan. Some of the projects, rather a very few of them, we are not able to consider because of certain gaps in that. So about 2,000 to 2,500 crores worth of projects they are existing in that pipeline, and that pipeline we are consistently increasing also from slowly and slowly. Our business development team, they are sourcing more and more projects in these segments.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you. This was very helpful. That's all from my side.
Thank you, sir. So next question comes from Abhishek Gundu, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you?
Yeah. Abhishek ji, you are very clear.
Yes. Now, my first of all, my best wishes for your future endeavors, and after listening all your presentation, I find that you are in the right track. But only my concern is that there is a black spot in our history of PFS. It has been regularly paying dividend, and this time we have skipped the dividend, which will be black spot for years to come. We cannot say that it is a regular dividend paying company now. At least this is one black spot has come to the PSS. Otherwise, it was going smooth. This is. Do you agree with me, sir?
देखिए अभिषेक जी, इसका जवाब तो हिंदी में मिल सकता है, अंग्रेजी में नहीं।
हाँ, हिंदी में बोलिए, मेरे को हिंदी समझ में आता है, बोलिए।
तो नजरिया होता है, एक तरफ से देखिए तो ब्लैक स्पॉट नजर आएगा, एक तरफ से देखिए तो रोशनी नजर आएगी। तो जिस तरह से आप देख लीजिए, इस साल का जो आपको डिविडेंड नहीं दिया, और आप जो बता रहे हैं कि आगे का मार्गदर्शन जो हमने दिया और बाकी ऑपरेटिंग परफॉर्मेंस हमने किए, देखिए लड़का रेस में भागता है, ठीक है ना?
हाँ।
रेस में भागता है।
बट एक बार ये तो हो जाएगा ना कि
मान लीजिए, देखिए
नहीं, मैं सुन रहा हूँ, मैं सुन रहा हूँ, पर ये तो हो गया ना कि लड़का 1 साल फेल हो गया था।
नहीं, फेल नहीं हुआ। ऐसे कैसे फेल हो सकता है?
नहीं, फेल तो हुआ है, डिविडेंड नहीं दिया।
अरे एक बात पूरी सुन लीजिए ना, मुझे एक अवसर देंगे बोलने का तो मैं बोलूंगा, नहीं तो फिर नहीं बोलूंगा।
हाँ, बोलिए।
अंग्रेजी में 100 में 90 आए, हिंदी में 100 में 90 आए, मैथ्स में 100 में 90 आए।
हाँ,
ठीक है ना? उस साल मास्टर ने कह दिया कि बेटा टोटल मार्क्स की मैं टोटलिंग नहीं करूंगा इस बार, उसमें या तो रिजल्ट नहीं अनाउंस करूंगा या टोटल नहीं करने दूंगा, तो या मैं जनरल आपके टोटल मार्क्स में से 200 मार्क्स ऐसे कम कर दूंगा आर्बिट्रेटली। तो उस साल जो है लड़के का रिजल्ट वैसा नहीं दिखेगा जो दिखना चाहिए था। बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर ये है कि लड़का जो है मैथ्स में उसको नंबर 90 लाने चाहिए थे, 90 लेकर आया, अंग्रेजी में 90 लाने चाहिए थे, 90 लेकर आया, और वो दिखा रहा है कि पहले 80 लाता था, अभी 90 लाया, उसके पहले 70 लाता था, इस बार 90 लाया, उसके पहले 60 लाता था, इस बार 90 लाया। तो ये आपको देखना पड़ेगा, and let me give the assurance कि this will be compensated.
Okay, so let us hope that it will be compensated.
देखिए मैं आपको बताया, देखिए डिविडेंड हमने इसलिए नहीं दिया क्योंकि
कुछ इंटरिम डिविडेंड का प्लान है क्या?
नहीं, देखिए अभिषेक जी, ऐसा है, हमने प्रोविजन किया तो उसके लिए बुक में जब लॉस आया है, राइट ना?
हाँ,
अब प्रोविजन तो वन टाइम था, कई बार जो है हल्का सा पेन लेना पड़ता है लॉन्ग टर्म के बेनिफिट के लिए, ये पेन हमने लिया लॉन्ग टर्म के बेनिफिट के लिए, बट जो हमने मॉडल आपके सामने रखा है, ये इस डिविडेंड से ज्यादा डिविडेंड जो आपको इस साल में जो डिविडेंड मिलेगा उससे अच्छा डिविडेंड आगे चल के मिलेगा, टोटल मिला के मैं बताता हूँ, इस साल का और अगले साल का।
अच्छा, चलिए ठीक है, दिस इज वन थिंग, सो लेट अस होप फॉर द बेस्ट। एंड सेकंड माय क्वेरी,
sorry to interrupt you, Abhishek sir. Sir, please join back the queue for your further questions, sir. Thank you.
No, just one.
Yeah. So the next question comes from Suyesh Maheshwari from Samco Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I just had two questions. One with respect to what is the collection efficiency we are looking at and the growth guidance in this regard. And the other one is regarding if we are looking at any additional provisions apart from the one-time provision that we've made.
No, see, provisioning which we have already told you, project-wise also we have said the kind of provisioning which is likely to happen. And we told that we are expecting we told you that we are expecting a credit cost around 0.30 for the next year.
Yes, sir.
And we are also expecting a write back, which should offset whatever we are talking about. What was your second question?
Sir, it was regarding collection efficiency, like what we have faced in April, May, and any growth guidance for the company in FY22.
Yeah, growth
in terms of any
maybe my director of operations already said that we'll do sanction of 7,000 and disbursement of 5,000. So that should give you a very clear picture. That's my budgeted figure.
Yeah.
And then on collection efficiency, Sanjay will just give you guidance.
With respect to the collection in this month, April and May, my collection efficiency is almost 90-95%. Only few borrowers which have paid little delayed. There is no more slippages which we are expecting in this quarter.
All right. Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So next we have a follow-up question from Mr. Saurabh Bhave, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So thank you for the follow-up question. So as per my understanding, Mr. Naveen Kumar ji is retiring this month. So would there be only one director, or is there any succession plan from your side?
See, definitely, there could be he is not retired. So retiring will happen. So as on date, he is in position. So to comment on that, this should be, not correct. But certainly, this position will be filled, and this position will remain occupied. I cannot talk about incumbent at this stage. Okay. So that is what I can say at this stage.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So next we have a follow-up question from Mr. Abhishek Gundu. Please go ahead.
सर पवन जी आपसे मेरा एक प्रश्न है. हेलो.
हेलो. बोलिए अभिषेक जी, मैं सुन रहा हूँ आपकी बात को.
हाँ, वो हम लोगों ने बहुत लोन एसेट के बारे में तो बात कर लिया, उसका स्टेटस भी सुन लिया है. व्हाट अबाउट आवर इक्विटी एसेट्स, जो हमने इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट किया था, उनका क्या स्टेटस है, और उनका उनको डिस्पोज करने का कोई प्लान वगैरह है इक्विटी का, या क्या स्टेटस, जैसे RS विंड एनर्जी है और इंड बरात में क्या क्या सब है आपने किया है, थोड़ा उसके ऊपर थोड़ा रोशनी डालिए.
ये संजय, would you like to cover that? भारत तो हमारा खत्म हो चुका है.
In Bharat में we don't have any investment, and other investments में we have made adequate provisioning. So we are not expecting something equity value out of those, like RS India and Varam. There are two companies. So Varam is under liquidation. As a equity holder, we are not expecting anything, and that is the reason we made provisions.
Okay. ओके पवन जी, मेरा एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है आपसे. इफ यू कुड आंसर दैट आई विल बी वेरी हैप्पी. लास्ट नवंबर में आप CNB की आवाज में बोले थे कि बाय एंड ऑफ नवंबर कुछ देयर विल बी समथिंग कॉन्क्रीट हैपन फॉर PSS डाइवर्समेंट. तो अभी कोई हिंट है क्या आपका, मतलब फ्रॉम योर साइड, कि कब तक होने का उसका चांस है डाइवर्समेंट?
As Pawan sir already told, it will be it's best to ask this from our holding company PTC. They have insight, we don't have.
साहब, मैं आपका इन्वेस्टर हूँ, आपका कंपनी का, तो मैं अपने डायरेक्टर से बात कर रहा हूँ. व्हाई आई विल आस्क समबडी एल्स जिसका कि मैं इन्वेस्टर नहीं हूँ.
तो सर the reason is that suppose sir you are the investor but I can't force you कि आप कब शेयर बेचेंगे कब नहीं बेचेंगे. I cannot ask you ना sir. It's up to your wish how you want to retain my
नहीं,
shares.
at least जो कंपनी
I
ने
can't force you to retain my shares or I can't force you to buy my shares.
no, that's true. But question is, from your perspective also, when you are employee of some company, you should also know what is the status of my company. It is going to which hand.
Sir, once something concrete will come, it will be updated to all the stakeholders.
So actually, just now Pawan Saab was telling आपका bidders जो आपका NPA वाले जो उसको resolution के लिए जो bidders bid कर रहे हैं, उनका status बता रहे थे कि 80% जो है bid amount आ रहा है ये आ रहा है. तो मतलब you are disclosing about one side and अपना ही bid दूसरे लोग आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है and we are not aware of it.
Sir, it's my polite request because that is the process being run by the holding company, so we are not aware about the insight about those things.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. So that was the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Karan for closing comments.
Yes, on behalf of Essential Technologies, I thank every participant for joining this call. I thank to each and every management for such detailed answers. I would now like to hand over the call to Dr. Pawan for his closing remarks.
So, thank you very much, and it was very nice to interact with you. And we always look forward to the feedback, which on the basis of which we can take mid-course whatever action we have to take. And I'm so glad that very honest and clear feedback we got from the market, and we also got the opportunity to present our thought process and clarify our points. And appreciate that everybody gave us a very patient listening and hearing, and also appreciate the fact that almost everybody, or in fact by and large everybody was very, very appreciative of the effort which we are making. Good to, because all this requires, it looks, all this looks very easy, but in difficult times of economy and preceding NBFC crisis, we are in a we make a lot of efforts, and when we hear good words from the market, it is always encouraging, so that we are able to take further action and do even still better than what we are doing. So thank you very much. And as I have said that at the beginning, I'll reiterate my opening remarks with the closing remark, that all this while we are saying that we are reaching towards the end of the tunnel, but I think we are now out of the tunnel, which the impact will see in the coming quarters as we see. And to all investors and people who represent investor community, really appreciate that you have stood with us in difficult time, and I'm sure different flowers bloom at different time. It was a quotation of I think the Chinese revolutionary Mao Zedong. He had said that different flowers bloom at different point of time, and probably our time has come to bloom now, and the benefit of that you should get. So thank you very much. Thank you so much, and please remain safe, and I hope your families are safe and taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Dur Sabha's conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.